Hey guys, welcome back to the Rockford Ordnance. Regardless of what I decide to name this video, my first thought was to go with some clickbait and really get some people going, but I just don't think it's fair. I came across a video by a gun tuber that is just one of my all-time favorites, and that's Misha from Misha Co channel. And you guys know, if you have the slightest experience with AKs, Misha is the go-to be-all end-all walking encyclopedia of the AK platform. And I got a ton of respect for him all the way around. I love his laid-back, nonchalant videos and just his presentation and everything about it, how deep his collection runs. Just, he's the man, right? And everybody's been talking about this issue with the SAM 5s. Let's kind of start at the beginning. First of all, this is not a I hate Arsenal video or boy, Arsenal really screwed the pooch on this one. By no stretch do I want you to take it that way, and kind of to say, well, yeah, sure, no, you're going over this problem and showing it. I just want to show you, I own just a couple Arsenals. It's been, I don't know, for whatever reason, I wouldn't consider myself a fanboy. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find places to put these things without having them fall. I own just a couple. That was the SAM 44. This is a 107R. We've got our Krebs 107FR done up by Krebs. The model is actually, I forget now, a KS, I think, 107 KS. Says it here somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, 107 KS, 103 KS. All done up sort of like an alpha. What else do we got here? We've got a SAM 7 side folder in OD green. We've got a SAM 7 fixed stock with some Bulgarian Bakelite, and one of my most simple and yet one of my favorite rifles. Misha will be going, oh my god, how does he like this over some of the others? But a 107 FR with the triangle stock. Just so light and so nice. I love this rifle. And then of course we've got our SAM 5, which this video is about. It just in some Bakelite furniture. I love these 20 round smoke mags that they came with, and we bought some of the other ones too, but we did it with the salmon furniture, and I believe Misha actually showed one pretty much done up like this in either that video or possibly a different one, but I thought it was in that video. I'm like, wow, he did it just like I kind of did with the 74, the salmon stock and the Bakelite. But it's just to show you that I'm not hating on Arsenal. There's too many guys out there pounding away right now. And to tell you the truth, I have not contacted Arsenal yet about this. I really wasn't even aware of it till I started seeing videos like you guys. I don't get a ton of time to watch videos. With the channel and all, you look around and see what other guys are doing here and there, but you don't really have time to go through everything. So I got this 105. Let's go back before 105. I'm sorry, SAM 5. Let's go back before the ammo ban and all. I guess, let's see, Veprs had been banned from import, and I just was kind of reading the tea leaves, I guess, and I had a sneaking suspicion on ammo. Don't ask me why, but if you guys know, I kind of called it right before it all happened, and I thought, you know, what if this cheap ammo went away? What would I do? I like the AK platform. I don't want to go to shooting some other gun. I want to stay with the AK platform. And then I get an email from KA-VAR saying, hey, we've got the first batch of these SAM 5s coming in. Hurry up, get one. They won't last, right? And I don't know, a couple of days, a week went by. I had kind of forgotten about it. And one day I'm sitting at work and I go, oh God, I better call them and grab one. So I called, and the gentleman I spoke to, I've spoken to many times before. Not to worry, we got one for you. And tell you the truth, almost all of these came directly from KA-VAR. My Veprs came directly from KA-VAR. I've done a lot of business with them. And it's easy. I call them up, they send out stuff to my FFL, and it's awesome. They're really good guys over there. And God, if you asked me 10 years ago and said, hey, you're gonna want this 5.56 AK, I would have said you're nuts. But if you're gonna do one, why not do a SAM, right? The 106s had some issues, and what else is there? While I love Yugos, I don't want to. Back then, you know, you had the ones with the mag adapter and everything in the plastic mags, and there was just not a good choice out there. The Norinco guns, but you know, those are bringing big bucks. And while this wasn't cheap by any stretch, I thought, you know what? All these other guns have been pretty good. Let's grab one of these. So it got sent out, and a lot of guys were bugging me. I think I showed it or previewed it in a video, and I just didn't get the time to get out and shoot it, or there were other videos going on or whatever. And someone, when I did the video, finally commented, finally he shot it, you know. And God, I loved it. Actually, my son was in the video. He shot it and said, I said, what do you think? He goes, it's just weird. It's an AK, but it doesn't feel like an AK. You know, it's flat shooting and all. First thing I noticed about it was the shell ejection. I'm not kidding you. I'm pretty sure I paced off 85 feet at one point. That's monstrous. I'm like, where'd the brass go? Looking around, there's nothing. And finally I'm like, shoot the gun. I'm watching, I'm like, holy cow, it was off range over in the weeds, right? And I couldn't believe it. And right then and there I knew, well, it's overgassed, but what the heck, you know. I had never had a 5.56 AK before. And we shot it, and I'm trying to guess how many rounds we have through this thing. And I bet, I'm going to say it's under 500, maybe under 400, maybe under 300. I'm going to go back through my videos and all my footage and kind of count it, because most of them I have on video. Anyhow, you know, shot the gun. I ordered one of KA-VAR's packages where 6 mags plus a shark break for X amount of dollars. So we got the black mags for them too. In fact, here's one right here, because I love these waffle mags. Best mag in the business, in my opinion. Anyways, I thought, man, how cool. You know, you're kind of getting that low recoil of a 5.45, but 5.56, all the ammo in the world you'll ever want. And we're gonna do something with this when I got some time, I thought. And then I got the idea on the Bakelite and the salmon and all, and I thought it was coming around pretty cool. And then I start hearing the stories about things going on with these, and I thought, come on, typical stuff. Like, no way, you know, guys are talking about them beating themselves to death and all this stuff. Or I thought, they're talking about, you know, the tail mushrooming a little bit, and they're just newbies and don't know what's going on. Or, you know, coming off ARs and thinking, oh my God, look, it's got a little paint rubbing off on the bolt or carrier. That kind of thing. And then I watched, well, let's go back another bit. So one night I'm thinking about it, and it was time to clean this gun, and pull the top cover off, and I look, and oh my God. I was shocked, frankly. And you guys know in my live stream, I've been saying for weeks, I gotta call Ka-Bar, I gotta call Ka-Bar, or the Arsenal, whoever. Anyhow, I come across Misha's video, and he's showing his, and although I think he understood what people were saying, I kept waiting for him to show the bolt, and he wasn't showing the bolt. He was pointing at the tail and the carrier and little tail mushrooming, no big deal, and I get it. But even in the comments, guys were going, show the bolt, it's the bolt, because of the U-shaped cutout in the back of the receiver. Now, this is a milled gun, so obviously there's no trunnion per se, but in the back of the receiver, there's a little cutout. Now, we will show you that. We're not going to disassemble it on camera because we don't want to go outside YouTube's guidelines. But we are going to show you the inside and show you what it's done to this rifle in particular. And it's a pretty low round count. Frankly, well, here. Have I had issues with Arsenal rifles? In general, I'll say no. My FRs have been great. The SAMs have been great, including the SAM 44. Everything's been good. I did have one rifle, and I bought it while it was new in the box. It came from a private party, and I gotta find that rifle. Where's that? Ah, right in front of me. Good thing it wasn't a snake. Let's see. Don't go anywhere. All right. By the way, guys, these guns have all been checked. They're all empty, but we will check it just to be sure. Anyhow, this gun right here. This is a 107R, which means it's got the rail from the factory, but no folding stock. And we made it fit us. This is a gun we shoot a lot, and it's lightweight, and it's just nice. Anyhow, when I got this gun, it would fire and strip around, come forward, and the bolt would just stop. And the bolt's like locked, it won't go forward. I'm like, what the heck? I open it up. Long story short, and there's a video on this, the rail on the one side was welded a little high, and as the bolt came forward, the top of it caught the corner of the front trunnion and it stopped. It wasn't way off, just a hair off, just enough to catch it. And the key was similar to on a Yugo bolt carrier. There's a little angle cut on it. We just put a little angle cut on so it kind of hits that and slides in, and it's been fine. And the front sight block was off on this thing. More so, I've never had one off, and this one was off. We straightened it to the best of our ability without repinning it, but it's still off, I can see. And it shouldn't be. Should I have sent it back? Oh, probably, but I've never sent a gun back in my life. I'm not one to freak out about little stuff, and I'll usually take care of stuff myself. Should this one have went back? I don't know, maybe, but it shoots okay, and you know, no problems. Does it bug me because I'm a little OCD? Yeah, kinda, especially now that I'm looking at it, but this was the only gun that I had those minor issues with. And by the way, the finish they talk about on Arsenals, this was the only one that paint came off of. You can see it's flaking here, it's gone off the gas block and up the barrel here. But it's not bad, and whatever. We'll probably refinish it one day anyways. But yeah, that was the only gun out of all the Arsenals that I ever had an issue with. And that is until this SAM 5. Now, the issues are pretty major. I'm going to call them. I've shot it a little bit since kind of seeing it, just to see, hey, that's what's going on. A lot of you guys are saying, hey, we haven't seen if this progresses. The gun still runs, but nobody's, kept shooting one to see if, hey, does it stop? Does it calm down? Or does it keep going? My opinion on this, and we'll show you. So the way, well, I'll just show you. So give me a minute, be right back. Okay, so per YouTube rules, we are not taking anything apart on camera. And I know you guys are gonna ask, well, what serial number range is yours? And like I told you, I got the notice for frequent buyers or whatever from KVAR. I had the first shot at the first batch. And this is, let's just say, on Misha's video, mine is, well, the series is 60, okay? So that makes it 2020. This was the, according to the number, in the first 250 guns or so to come out, which is about half of what Misha's was looking at his video. So mine's earlier than Misha's. It seemed in Misha's video, I did see some paint removal down in here. Now here's what we're talking about that's different than the 7.62 guns. Can you see this little crescent cut out here? There's a crescent right there. Well, it just so happens that when the bolt tail, here's the bolt, and it just so happens that when that bolt tail is in the carrier and it's riding back, the width of the stem here is just wide enough that the firing pin fits in between that, but the two sides of the bolt stem slam into each side of that crescent shape. And when I show you the bolt tail, you'll understand. So the bolt is riding back and it's severely overgassed. And look at this, guys. It's ovaled it out. It's hit so bad. So the edge here of the bolt tail and the edge over here slam into the back of that U. So the flat catches here and here while the center doesn't hit anything, okay? The left side is hammered much worse than the right side, but let me see if I can get a super clear picture of this. Can you see this here? It's flaring out so bad, it's ovaling the whole thing. And the firing pin, I know these are spring-loaded, is sticky a bit. It was. Now that it broke loose, it seems fine. Keep in mind, we have not had any failures with this gun. It runs fine. We may have had, I did have 2 case head separations on this gun, if I remember correctly. So maybe it's just ripping it back so hard it separated cases. I've never had case separation on any other rifle in my life other than this one. We've shot steel case, we've shot brass, we've shot everything through it. I'm gonna go back through my footage and see what I find, because I don't remember any failures other than those ripping the heads off the cases upon ejection. Other than that, I think it's been okay. Now, to show you how few rounds this gun has in it, I've wiped it down pretty good, but look at the top edges of the receiver. There's no paint worn off of here anywhere. That looks like it's shiny, but it's not. That's oil. There's no paint wear, a tiny bit right here, and a tiny bit right here, and a little bit here and here. The other thing with this is, oh, so weird things going on with the trigger. Keep in mind, when that carrier comes back, the tail or the bolt stem should not hit that. If anything, the carrier does. The bolt stem is, I believe, up inside the carrier. So someone brought up something about maybe the trigger doing it. Granted, my guess is the overgassing, of course, is just slamming it. But look what it's done to this trigger in this few rounds. Here's the face of the trigger, guys. I got triggers with 3,000 rounds that look better than this, and it's actually peened a ledge right here. Look, I can catch my fingernail on it. It's smoothed the metal over going that way, so this way, right here. Do you see that ledge right there? See it right below my fingernail? No, that's not the angle of the hammer. It's smeared the metal over it. While this here looks like it more, it's actually this one right there. You see? You can see it. How it's lifted up. Or smeared over, I should say. It has pounded the hell out of this hammer. That to me is the tail hitting the hammer to reset it, and hitting it extremely well. I mean, look at that thing. It looks polished almost on top, but yet there's that. I can catch my fingernail in this damn thing. Right there. So I hope that shows you, but everything else, you can see where it's been slamming into the front pretty good here. Inside on the lugs here looks okay. I don't see anything abnormal. Oh, it's moved metal here a little bit. Normally I would say that is, you know, a little bit of movement is normal at first, but there's a pretty good edge there, sharp edge. In this light, it's hard for me to see. I don't want to say it's abnormal right now, while the other edge, doesn't even have paint removed on it, which tells me all the pressure's on the right side lug and not on the left. Yeah. The more I look, the more I see, guys, and this isn't talking about tail peening. Notice we haven't even looked at the carrier yet. But let's look at the carrier. Give you an idea, again, how few rounds are through this. These are painted, and normally you can get a lot of the paint worn off here. I'm gonna do close because I don't want the reflection of the light and you thinking, let me block. I don't know if I can block the light here, but there's a tiny bit of paint wear here and here, just barely going through. Everything else is painted fine. Here, I didn't clean anything. There's your head of your piston. And for the important part, here is the back of the carrier. So you can see the bottom, this damn light is too bright, I'm sorry guys. The bottom edge here, paint's completely gone. There's hardly any flaring though, hardly any, a little bit. But I'd say normal. I mean, it's not mushrooming. The paint's gone. It's hammered pretty flat here. And the back, you can see there's some pretty good paint loss here and here already. But nothing I would say really abnormal there. But yeah, look here. No, the paint's not even worn at all. There's not any paint loss there yet. So yeah, like I said, I'll bet 200-300 rounds is where I'm at. If I'll count, but I doubt it. I doubt it's more than that. This trigger is surprising. I shouldn't say trigger, I should say hammer. This hammer is surprising. And I didn't show you the back of the U where the tail is actually hitting. Hopefully I can get some good light here. I think you get a pretty good shot. It's pretty hammered back there, you see that? All the paint's gone. You can see where it's just beating the living hell out of it. Guys, this isn't a 1,000-round gun. This isn't a 500-round gun. This is a few hundred-round gun, and it's under the first 250 that came in as far as the serial number goes. Low 200s. I think, not positive, but I think a lot of other guys were saying, oh, it was like the 2021, 22 guns maybe. I don't know, but this is an early gun. Low 200s. Other than that, inside, you know, Misha was talking about some chatter in his. Mine's finished extremely well inside, even in the back here, except where that thing is hammering it. I mean, it's torn the metal up really good there, and it's all about that U there, where the two side edges, firing pin in the middle, are slamming into that. They catch it just right, and that was changed compared to the regular Sam 7s. Now, first comparison, I did take apart the other Sams here, and I'm going to show you. Here's our Sam 7 fixed stock, and this gun has, I don't know, the same, maybe a little more rounds than that one. Trigger face is fine, none of that smearing. Maybe a hair on that angle. Where that peen over is happening on that hammer is on that angle there, but it's way washed out compared to this. You can see on the back here where the carrier and or tail have hit a few times, but it's just worn paint a little. It's not down in here, if you can see, I don't know, but it's not banged the hell out of anything. Up front, again, almost zero paint worn off the top rails. God, it looks brand new in here. This gun, I've probably shot this gun the least of all of them. Just I like the side folder much better, and yeah, there's no wear at all on these lugs. This gun's been shot so little. Let's look at the carrier on it. And the bolt. It's still dirty a little bit from the last time. Here it looks like paint flaked off more than wore off. The rest of it is, there's no loss of paint yet. Again, no paint missing in here. Here, the paint's barely, that's not even a good pic. There you go. Paint's barely worn off of there. Tail is missing much less paint on the bottom tail here. Zero peening or mushrooming whatsoever. Here's the bolt as far as paint goes. You know, it's brand new. You can see a little on the front lug here and where it's turning. But here's the tail of it. And there's oil on this guy, so this light may make it look like there's more taken off, but there's the back of that one. Obviously it's not ovaled out, and obviously there is a little, no, let's see, maybe a little bit of paint on one corner of it. And this firing pin's moving much easier than that one. Yeah, this gun's brand new. I bet there's not more than a few mags through this gun. if I remember right. I just don't shoot my SAMs a ton. Shoot other stuff. I like the stamp guns, and I've had these a lot less time than I have my stamp guns. Here's the side folder. You can see where it's hit the back in this one too. So they all hit the back somewhat, I guess. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this one. You see where it's taking the paint off back there? You can see the outline of it. To me, it looks like the firing pin in the outside of the bolt tail. A perfect imprint of it there. Very little paint worn off again. Less wear on the triggers. This one's been shot even less. Although it has a little more wear up here. You know, they all wear in a little different. But essentially, this gun's brand new and perfect. I don't think it's fair to even compare the SAM 44 because of the short carrier and all. Those guns just recoil differently. Whether that's more or less, I don't know. But yeah, so let's show you the lugs on this, I guess. I didn't show you the other paint. So there's the bottom. There's the right side. Where am I here? The left side lug, rather. Paint wear on the tail here from wearing in the carrier. Here's your front lug, and you'll notice it's rounding over a bit here. But that's normal. That's just the gun fitting itself, sort of. There's the wear on the front. Again, these 5.56 guns are severely overgassed. I've never, ever, 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 ever on any gun seen brass thrown this far. Yeah, firing pin's moving, but the way this thing is ovaled out is crazy. And you can see, I mean, it continues. See how it's pounding it all the way? I mean, it's working its way down into the stem here. This picture, I can tell you right now, is not doing it justice. But, yeah. It's done a number. Yeah, let's see. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at the whole, all the paint on the back side of the lugs here is absolutely gone on that few rounds. That's weird too. Interesting. So I thought I'd show you that, yeah, there is definitely contact being made, and it's not the tail folks are talking about. It's the tail of the bolt, not the tail on the carrier. So I hope this helps you. I am going to get a hold of Arsenal and ask for TAG to send this gun back. To me, this bolt is way worn and way work hardened. A lot of premature wear. And then what has it done to the back of the trunnion, hitting it that much, that hard? Is the gun overgassed? Well, maybe there's been talk that the ports are too large, or that they drilled them for 7.62 guns. I don't know if any of that's true, guys. Could it happen? Sure, I guess. I don't know, but I can tell you it is definitely overgassed. Maybe undersprung, but to see this kind of damage in that few rounds is absolutely abnormal for an AK. I don't complain. I can show you Yugo guns, other guns that have in excess of 8, 9, 10,000 rounds that look nowhere near this. You know, a good running gun, will they wear in? Sure. Will they hammer themselves up? You know, locking lugs will wear into a trunnion, all that stuff, but they don't start really just moving and sliding metal like this, you know. And if they do, you know, on a tail or something, back in the G2 trigger days and all that, it stops eventually, you know. Some guys are saying, well, just put an adjustable gas block in it. Guys, these aren't a Century kit gun or $3.99 Wasser, well now what, $8.99, $9.99 Wasser. These are $1,800 guns. I shouldn't have to add anything. Would it be nice to have one? Sure. I don't run suppressed guns. I don't really have a need for it. I thought it'd be cool to run 3-gun with this thing, maybe. And in that case, you know, maybe something adjustable for less recoil, quicker shots, that kind of thing. But this gun should be soft enough as it is, you know. You just shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't spend, there's no other guns I own that I said, man, here's 2G and I got to add another, you know, $200, $300, $500 just to get it to not kill itself. I don't have any guns like that. They just, you know, you shouldn't have to spend that, and oh, by the way. And I'm not saying I will have to. I assume Arsenal or FIME or whoever it is, KVAR. You know, my first thought was to call KVAR because I love those guys there. And they always take good care of me and get my shipments, stuff I order out quick, and never had a problem. I wonder if it could be this trigger. Misha was saying something about, I didn't quite catch it, but the trigger not doing something, allowing the bolt and the carrier to do something. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that hammer has something to do with it, or the trigger. To show you how this thing runs in here, I mean, if we hold the trigger down on reset, you don't even get that hump. Smooth. I don't know what to say. As that tail comes back, I wonder, as the tail comes back, it hits the top of the hammer. The bolt is sitting on the lower part of the hammer, but as you slide it back, obviously the bolt tail goes into the carrier, and the bottom slide of the bolt carrier then pushes against the hammer, takes it back to reset it. I would think by how it's hitting there, the carrier is what's causing the smearing there, and I believe it's just from probably hitting it at such a high rate of speed, you know, hitting it so hard on the reset as it the gun recoils back is why we're getting that hammer distortion. And it's a lot. It's like wrong. That's something you'd see on, I don't know, somebody working over a trigger and not knowing what the hell they're doing or something, or an aftermarket trigger that back in the day, not today, you know. But like I said, it shoots great, accurate, all that. I like the looks of this, but I think what we're going to do is like Misha's, we're going to go to the military stock and handguard. I just got to find some. I love that look. Really cool. My initial thought was to do that military polymer. It's similar to the stuff that comes on it, but it's what they put on their military guns. Different shape stock and everything. And it's got the flares along it and here. That would look really good on this. I love the look of Misha's gun. And I was going to put a 3-power prism on it. I thought that would be a neat setup on this. I've got one been laying around for a while, and get an RS Regulate and that 3-power primary arms prism, and it'd be a nice looking gun. Yeah, we just got to figure out what's going on. Now, I'm going to call them. Hopefully they give me a ticket to send it back. That's the other thing I've heard. That could be a problem now because a couple carriers won't accept firearms from individuals. So do you have to ship it through an FFL? I don't know. That's a pain. And I've heard you got to pay for it too, which doesn't sound right to me, but I don't know. I've never had to send a gun back ever to any factory. That always worries me. You know, it's out of your control. But it's got to be fixed. This is something that there's something up. I don't know what. And, you know, frankly, a buffer, I don't know. I was always of the thought process that if you got to run a buffer in your gun ain't right. Adjustable gas piston. Gun was designed without it, should be fine without one. I just want the gun that works like it is, that's not going to beat the heck out of itself. Frankly, I even like shooting it in its stock form, you know. I don't know. I just hope it's the right solution, that they have one, and we can get it worked out. But I always give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm sure this is no exception. Like Misha's gun and others, some are fine, so who knows? Maybe there was a bad batch of barrels that got drilled wrong or something. Who knows? Things happen. It happens. But I can tell you out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many arsenals I have, this is the only larger problem, let's say. And again, I don't know that it's huge. I don't know. Do you think a receiver getting hit that hard that many times needs to be replaced? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you guys could put in the comments how long it takes to get a gun back when you send it in. I'm sure it varies. But you would think companies would have a turnaround of a week or two, I would think. I mean, you got a gun, you bought it, you want to use it. I would think it comes back, I would hope it comes back quick, you know. Here, we took care of it, or here's another one, or whatever. Now, obviously, we'll put the furniture on it all before we send it back. And that's all we change. Furniture is no big deal. It's actually, you know, Arsenal furniture, just off an older one, that's all. But, yeah. Am I upset? I don't know. Of course, you know, nobody wants the hassle of it. But it happens, and as long as everything works out cool, I guess it's kind of good to know that I'm not alone in it. You know, it's not a one-off thing. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, it is pretty amazing to see brass and steel fly that far, though. It's absolutely incredible. But I guess kind of cool to compare them to the other SAMs. Although this does have that crescent shape cutout that the others don't have. I guess I'll talk to them and see what they say. If they're gonna have me send it back right away, fine. If not, like I said, the gun cycles, maybe I'll continue to shoot it if they don't care. Although I guess when you're talking a lot of money and it's your money, you just kind of want to get it right as quick as possible, right? Yeah, so we will go from there. I'll let you know Tuesday on our live stream, 8 o'clock Central, Coffee and Kalashnikovs. And I'm sure this will be a large part of the discussion. So we'll get it right, and we'll tell you how it goes all the way along. So thanks, Misha, for bringing us that video. You are the man, let me tell you. Read the comments there. There's a lot of comments. Guys are pointing out that they were talking about the tail of the bolt and not the carrier. And Misha was commenting back a lot. And I think they got through and he said, oh, okay, that's what you guys were talking about. Not sure he knew right off the get-go. So anyhow, it was cool to watch that video. And cool, hey, our guns are within a couple hundred numbers of each other in that 60 series. And look, his is fine and mine's not. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyhow, guys, check out Coffee and Kalashnikovs Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Check out our Instagram and our Facebook, and check out some of our other videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified when we've got some info to report back to you. Anyhow, thanks again, guys, and as always, Rockford Ordnance out.